In this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing, test, and review of the Portland electric chipper shredder that's being offered from Harbor Freight. Now, the part number of the one that I picked up here today is 61714. However, they also have two other part numbers that may apply to what you're looking for at your store, and those are 69293 and 66910. So now the boys and I, we're taking on a big project here in our backyard, and we're taking out a bunch of dead branches and some trees, and we were just going to do a quick run to the dump with it. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'd really like to be able to reuse the things that we're taking out, use those for some mulch and maybe some decoration. And so why take all that to the dump? And so I came across this here on Harbor Freight's website, and I thought this would be a good fit. Now, normally it runs $139. However, I had a great coupon and I was able to pick it up for $99. So I thought it would be great to pick this thing up. Let's see how well it works. I'm going to put this thing to a big test today. You're about to see the amount of branches we have in our backyard, and let's see if this is something that's going to work for you as well. Here's what's included in the box when you get your chipper shredder. Now, naturally, you have the main body of the unit that has your hopper, it has your motor, everything like that. Your control panel is all here. There's very little assembly required, actually. You have your steel frame base here, and basically it will just push into the back here, and I'll go over this more for you a bit in detail once we're done with this part. You have your little axle here that will go in here, and basically this is to mount your wheels on that you see here. You have two wheels. Now, on their website, it says that the wheels are 6-inch wheels. The box says they're 7 3/4. I grabbed my tape measure, and they are 7 3/4 inch wheels. And so you have two of these plastic wheels here to be able to move it around. Then you also have two of these little hubcaps, if you will, that will actually go on here just for cosmetic reasons when we're all done to make it look nice. It does have the push stick here, if you want to call it so. And what this is for is as you're feeding things into the hopper, let's say something gets stuck or you need to feed it down in there, you do not want to use your hands to get down in there. You're going to be missing a finger. So what you do is you take this, and this actually enables you to push those things down in to feed them into the chipper that's down inside of there. So this is something you don't want to lose, and you definitely want that. It also comes with a little bag here that you can actually put your little chips in, and that way you can transport them around. It also comes with the owner's manual that we have here naturally. And then the other thing it comes with is in this little package here, we have two steel blades, and these are reversible blades. And so what that means is you'll put these blades in there, and when they do start to get dull, and they will, they're a blade, what you can do is actually unbolt them and reverse them, and so you can get double life out of these. And so you'll be able to sharpen these, I'm sure, but you can also buy these through Harbor Freight's website, and they have a replacement parts list that's on their website as well for this particular unit. Now, what I'm going to do is down below in the description, I'll put a link to the PDF versions of the replacement parts like we have here, as well as the owner's manual. So if you want to head over to their website and take a look, you'll be able to do that. So here's what we have in the box. Now let me show you how to assemble it, and then let's start testing. The first thing I'm going to do is actually just assemble the base here. So I've taken everything off the table here, so I just got some room to work with. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the wheels onto the base. Now, to assemble our axle here, now here's your rear axle. You have cotter pins here on each end, and you have 4 washers. So what you're going to want to do is take your cotter pin out of one end. You don't need to take it off of both ends, and I'll show you how. So we'll just take that, we'll set it off to the side. Now here's your 4 washers. I'll take 3 of those washers off. Once I do that, I'll take my wheel, making sure the side that's flat here is facing toward the outside as I slide this on. And this just goes through like this, and you'll see it has the washer on there. And you just slide that down to the end, and that part's done. Now what you're going to want to do is add a washer onto this, just like that. Then when you're done, you're going to take your base, and in your base you have these holes, and this is what your axle is going to go through. So what you'll do is you're just going to line that up through there, and you're going to go ahead and slide this through just like that. Now once you have it through, you want to add your washer now onto here. you'll grab your other wheel and just push that through like that, and you're almost done already. And then what you're going to do is add your other washer on the outside. Take your cotter pin now, push that back down through that hole again, just like that. And then once you get it through there, you'll go ahead and just wrap that back around like it was so it can't come off. And there we go. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is just put your little hubcaps back on there. Now you'll see it's got the 4 tabs that are on here. Those 4 tabs line up with the 4 little holes around the outside of the rim. And so the easiest thing to do is just, what I did is I just start by pushing one in here like that, and then I'll just work my way around, and I'll use my finger to kind of push it down, line it up, and then use my thumb just like that. And there we go. We have our one wheel done. Now we'll flip it around and we're over to this side. Now in this one here, by the way, you're going to notice these in one of your hubcaps. It's going to have this little bag with the 2 screws, and we'll use those here in the next part. Actually, they go in up here when we assemble the top part and the hopper onto the frame. This is to secure it. So for now, take the screws off, set them out to the side. Now you're just going to take your hubcap, do the same thing again here, and just snap this into place on your wheel. We're now ready to attach our base up to the main portion of the unit. Now the only thing you're going to need for this is going to be the 2 screws that were in the bag that you saw before there, and you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and I have mine here on the ready to be able to put those in. Now where you're going to put these screws actually, and I'm going to flip this over and set it like this so you can see, is here's where your frame is going to go in. You want your wheels to the back side where your handle and your control panel are facing. And once you get them put in, here on the sides here, you have these openings, these holes, so you can put those screws in there. Those screws then go through these holes that are here in your frame, and basically it just keeps it from sliding out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this and we're going to put this in here just like this. And we're just going to push it down into position. Hopefully you can see that there. And we're just going to push down. And there it feels like we're locked in all the way. And we're just going to push again just to make sure. And we're good. So now that we have that done, all we got to do is now take our screwdriver here. And we're going to drive those screws into the side so it holds our base in position. Now what we want to do is get our blades installed here on our unit. And to do that, you're going to want to turn your unit around. And on the back here is what they call their control panel. And this knob here, you're going to loosen up, and then what can happen is you're going to tilt this all forward and we'll have access to our blades. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just turn this to the left. And then what I'll do is I just kind of take my thumb and put on here and just kind of press up. Looks like we got a few threads still caught. There we go. And now we can just take this off and then lift it right out. And this gives us access to where our blades are located. So we're going to just set that there for a second. Now here's where your blades are located. Up in here. So we have one blade here, we have one blade here, and you'll see they actually have like an opening in here so you can get a tool in. Now here's a huge bonus. I thought that these blades here were the blades that actually were for the unit, but now that we open it, we see it actually comes with the blades installed, and this is actually an extra set of blades. So thumbs up to Harbor Freight on that. So really you have 4 blades if you think about it, because each one of these is double-sided. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 with your other set there that you'll be able to do that with. Now, when it comes time to change those blades out, what you're going to want to do is actually you're going to want to put like a screwdriver or something in here, and what you do is it just holds it in position, and then you're going to take your Allen tool, and by the way, that is a number 6, and it's just a hex head, and you'll just put that in there, and you'll have access through there, and then your other one you have access up in through here. to go ahead and change your blade out. So that's where you get to your blades, and that's how you change them. It's actually quite easy to do on there. Now you can get a good look while we have this all out and see what's inside of here. So here we have our blade. When things are fed down, they're going to come right down in through here where they're going to get shredded up, and then it comes out down through here, and this here is your hopper that's right through there. So what I'm going to be doing in my case, and I believe it will fit, and that is I'm going to put a 5-gallon bucket under here just so it catches the clippings as they come out. So let me go ahead and put our cover back on, and then let's talk about some of the features with it before we start putting it to the test. So here's our hopper. Now the top part here is a high grade plastic. Before I put this on, I thought I would just show it to you. Here's your knob that you have on here. This here is your feed chute that you have right in through here, and you'll see it's got like these little fingers that you'll actually guide those through, and it goes right down through that chute and it lines it right up into here. Now let me grab real quick. Here's our feeder that I showed you earlier, and basically that will push down in there, and you'll see how it kind of comes down, and it would force things down up into where the blades are. So here you have a good look at it, and you can take that, and that's how you'll push things down in through the hopper. Now the other thing for you to notice is on this side up here, you'll see it's got this little tab out here, and over here is a safety switch, and what this is for is the motor will not turn on if this tab here is not depressing your safety switch. So if you go to use your chipper and maybe it's not coming on, check three things. Number one, make sure it's plugged in and your power is good. Number two, make sure that your hopper lid here is securely tightened and fastened, because if it comes loose and it's not going to press your safety switch, then the motor won't come on. And then last but not least, if it's not coming on, you also have a circuit breaker back here on the back. You want to press that button and make sure that it's actually pressed in. So now we'll go ahead and we're going to put the hopper on. And you'll see here on the front it has like a little hinge. These here just catch down inside of there. And I'm trying to stay out of the way, so you just line those up like so. And then on the back side, you'll go ahead and just start pressing that down into where things are lining up. Now make sure that that tab's lining up into your safety switch, as I'm doing here. There we go. So we're lined up, and now we'll go ahead, line up our knob, and we'll just go ahead and start tightening down our knob. And then you'll see it has these hooks back here, and this here is if you want to use the bag that it comes with, you can hook the handles up onto these and then just let it hang below, like you'll see here. And once again, I think I'm going to try and just use the 5-gallon bucket, but if I can't use a bucket, then what you can do is hang those on here, and now all your trappings go right into your bag, and you can easily transport them over and do what you need to do with it. So let's run over some of the features that we have with our new chipper here. Now the whole body, the main body itself, is made of a high impact polypropylene plastic, and that's really nice on there. We have our steel frame that we already got assembled. We have our plastic wheels on it. It does have your hopper, and I'm going to flip this around up here. And this should be able to take 1.5-inch branches, and they have it sized out accordingly. We have our push stick here that we can use to feed things down through there. Then back here we have our control panel, and on our control panel here we have our circuit breaker. We have our knob that we use to actually loosen up the hopper. Here we have our on-off switch, and it is a keyed on-off switch, so you can take the key out. That way it can't turn on. In my case, I got a 10-year-old around here, so I really like having the ability to do this so we don't end up having a real major catastrophe around here. So it does have the keyed on-off switch with it. Down here your motor is located. Now this uses a 120 volt power supply, so you can plug it into your extension cord into the outlet in your house. Now this motor is rated at 14 amps at 2.5 horsepower, and it spins the blades at actually 4,300 RPM. And with the diameter between the two blades and that wheel that you saw in there, we have a 7-inch diameter, so it should do a really good job of getting things cut out in there. But there's just a quick overview of what we have with everything, and we have it all assembled and we're ready to go. Let's get this thing out in the yard and let's start testing it. All right, so we got the chipper here outside. As you can see right here, I wasn't kidding when I said we had a pile of branches to deal with. So this thing's definitely gonna get a major workout today. Now, the one thing I did is I did put down a tarp here because I just want to try and eliminate getting a lot of chips built up in my grass out here. So I put it on a tarp. We got the bag hooked up. So we're ready to go ahead and turn this thing on, and we're gonna give this thing a heavy duty workout today. We're about 30 minutes into our project here, and we've done a little bit of damage to our pile, but we've only been going about 30 minutes here. Thought I'd just stop and show you where we're at with things. We've been using the bag that was included with it. To give you an idea, this is what the chips are like that it produces, just so you can see there. So it does make a nice mulch with that. However, it kind of got bound up and the circuit breaker tripped on it. So I unplugged it, went around to hit the circuit breaker and start using it again, only to discover that the button has disappeared and fallen inside the unit. When I looked down on the ground, right here is our clear cover, and over here is the sheet piece for it. So the button fell apart and went down inside the machine. So how did we actually end up here with our Portland electric chipper shredder? Well, quite frankly, I was pretty disappointed with the unit. It took a long time to actually feed the branches in the hopper to get down to the blades. And what we discovered is, because it's so narrow going down to it, you had to have pretty much straight branches. Otherwise, you were fighting with them, pushing them, shoving them, having to twist them to get them to feed down through the hopper to get down to the blades. And quite frankly, it just took more time than it was worth it for us. We found it to be quicker and easier for us to be able to just go through, cut them up by hand and get them ready, throw them in the truck to take them out to the recycling center today. So this thing's going to be going back. You know, some of the other things outside of the feed and the hopper, and quite frankly, I think they'd be better off with a cone design than just the shaft that they have that goes down to it. I think it would feed better. That may be something to consider for future use. However, you know, the other thing we ran into, the blades dulled out really quickly. In about 20 minutes, they were starting to get dull. By 25 minutes, we were having a real hard time feeding stuff down through the hopper to get to the blades, which is why I believe at one point there that a 3/4 inch branch finally jammed up the machine, and when we went to reset the circuit breaker on it is when we discovered that the circuit breaker had come apart and fallen down inside the casing, and I just didn't feel like taking that apart to try and fix it. You shouldn't have to do that after 30 minutes with a new machine. I also wish it was taller so that you could fit a 5-gallon bucket under it. The way it is now, you can't fit a bucket under it. You actually have to tilt it back a bit in order to fit a 5-gallon bucket. So once the bag that it comes with, if you get a hole in it or you lose it, it has to be tilted, or you'd have to put it up on something to fit a 5-gallon bucket under it. And that's just another one of those things I don't care for with the design. So really, out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it 2 stars, 2.5 maybe at best. I just don't think it's something for you to look at. Now, if you're really going to get something like this and try it out in your yard, I would recommend you take a look at the Home Depot unit. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's sell the same identical unit. It's a brand called Sunjo. Neither one of them, by the way, at least where I live, stock them. You'd have to order them online. However, where I live, there's like 5 Harbor Freight stores. Only one store in town actually stocked it. It was about 35 minutes away. I had to go pick this up. So it may be likely that you're going to have to order one of these from, even if you bought it from Harbor Freight online, and have it shipped to you. However, with the Sunjo unit, it runs at Home Depot. It runs 125. It also has a 14 amp motor that does the 4,300 RPM, so it has the same ratings. Funny enough, it also uses the same on-off switch that this system has and the same circuit breaker button as well. So it leads me to believe that they're probably using a lot of the same components. However, at 125, that unit comes with a 2-year warranty as opposed to the 90-day warranty with the Portland. And you'll have to forgive me, I forget what the extended warranty was for this unit at Harbor Freight yesterday. I believe it was $35 for a 1-year warranty. However, let's say it was $30. Even with my coupon that took it from $139 to $99, that still puts me at about $130 to buy this unit with a 1-year warranty from Harbor Freight, where I could get the Sunjo from Home Depot for $125 with a 2-year warranty. So even just warranty wise, it's a better deal. So that may be something for you to think about. Lowe's also sells the Sunjo, but they want $132 for theirs, so the best deal would get you at Home Depot. So, ultimately, this is going back here today, and I'm going to get it returned, and we'll look for something else to try out at Harbor Freight, and I know we'll find some other good products there. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, please do me a favor and hit that like button for me. If you'd like to see more videos like this one in the future, why don't you hit that subscribe button and stick around with me here in the garage or out in the backyard, as this case may be. As always, I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks for watching.